does it. Oh yeah, here we go. All right. Now I just have to do this. I have to just come over here. Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay, let's get this overhead going. And let's put this up top where you can see what's going on. Hi everyone. Who's talking to me? I hear you. Hi. Okay, I'm going to put this tag with the yarn name right here because I know everybody's going to ask because this yarn is just incredible. It's absolutely incredible, seriously. And okay, I think I have to mirror over here. Mirror your video. Hold on. Okay, that should be right. Hey, Lorraine. Hey, Della. Yes, I did get some sun, and I actually got burnt on my back, and I'm peeling now. I got a really bad sunburn. It's been a while since I've let that happen. I didn't really think, I thought it was too early to get burnt. I know that was stupid, but I was sitting outside all day and crocheting. I was just so happy that it was nice and so excited to be outside that I hurt myself. I'll put that over there so it can be seen. Okay, so the yarn I'm doing today is the Noro, and that's the brand, and the name of the style of yarn is Yukata. And this is the color down here, number 6. Okay, so this is the number 6. I'll just flip these views so everyone can see. Swap the camera. You can even see, like, I would say that the TikTok version is more accurate to the colors because they are gorgeous and they're very vibrant and bright. So the picture that I'm getting, that I see for YouTube, is they're much more muted. So I did complete this to the edge, and I left the yarn attached because, thank you, because I wasn't really sure I like the very dainty edge that I did on it. My thinking was, and you all can tell me what you think if you agree with me. My thinking was keep it really simple and let the yarn tell the story. And then after I finished it and I looked at it, I thought, to me the edge was a little wah wah, you know, and I thought this yarn is really spectacular that it needs a little bit more of a fancy edge, something a little more, I don't know, with a little more oomph. So I haven't decided. I've taken it out about 4 or 5 times now. If I do take it out, I have to go all the way back and remove this side. You like the edge? And then I'd have to take out one row, this row of double crochet, so the edge would come down to here, because I don't have enough yarn to do any more. I had it completed with another row of double crochet, and I had to go back and take that out because I ended up with yarn chicken with like about, you know, about a full point left to go with not enough yarn left. And I like did it with a smaller hook and everything. And there just was not enough yarn. So I've already had to go back and like mess around with that. It's a nice size shawl. It would be okay if we took that one row off, but you all can let me know what you think. Fancier edge, yeah or no? This is the amount, this is how much yarn is left right now. So I would definitely have to take out. Okay, one person said they like the edge. Maybe I'll leave it because I'm really trying to get this done. Okay, and this is the other one. This is the yukata number 4. The yarn is lovely. It did have a lot of knots. So I do have ends in it. It just happened. So I'm still working on this. I'm gonna, I think it's actually time to start working down the edge of this one. Looks like I have one more row to go. And then I'm gonna start working down the edge. So what I did, they gave me two skeins for each project. And what I ended up doing was, because they didn't want the yarn to pool up too much, so I ended up switching off every 2 rows. I switched off between the balls of yarn. So when I did that, because you know we don't want to weave ends for that every time. So when I did that, I carried the yarn up the side, and oh, that's an end. I carried it up. See, there were a lot of knots. Looks like something happened here. So when I work down the side, I'm just going to work over those floats. The purples are beautiful, aren't they? And then there's that bright. I love this purple and this green together. I don't know why. I'm sure it's not everyone's cup of tea. Hey, Lorraine. They, Knitting Fever sent me the yarn, so they chose the colors. It's Noro Yukata, so the colors are put together already. That's how Noro works. All right, let's see what I've got here. And I'm pretty sure that I should look at my pattern, but I'm pretty sure that I Oh, I'm still on this double crochet row. Let me figure out where I'm at because, I crochet all through the night sometimes. I think I was up till 4 or 5 a.m. the other night crocheting, and that did not feel good. I was not okay the next day. I'll just put that like that because I know people are going to come on and going to ask and want to know what it is. It's been really nice here at the Outer Banks, hence that one day that I took the entire day off. I forget what day that was. I think that was last week. I really like the lime. But I could see somebody not liking it. But I really like it. This is a really fun yarn. The color changes are really pretty spectacular. Oops. So what's everyone working on tonight? Who's crocheting? What are y'all up to? It's very quiet. I don't know if any of y'all TikTokers that follow me are interested in the new Shopify Shop US feature. Hey, it's Jack of Yarns. How you doing? You're working on actual work. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That sounds horrible. Red, white, and blue 6-day throw. That's nice. Hey, Althins Pat is what I can see of your name. Love your 6-day star blanket. You're making one. Nice. Make sure you tag me when you post it so I can see. I love it when you guys tag me. I get so excited. I haven't been able to crochet as fast lately because I procrastinated on doing my taxes, and so I spent all weekend at the computer. The weekend taxes were due, and my wrists, hands, and fingers have all been kind of paying the price ever since. So I've noticed that I'm just a lot slower. Hi, Amy. Hi, thanks for the follow. It is a 2. Della's asking what the yarn weight is. It's a 2 But it's thick and thin. It's got some thick and thin. And I'm using an H hook with it, which is a 5 millimeter, I believe. No, 4.5 millimeter hook. Yeah, my speed is down. I'm not going to try and go faster. I gotta remind myself just to slow down. Take it easy. Take it easy. Who is going to Maryland Sheep and Wool? Not this weekend coming, but next weekend. Who's going up there, huh? Thanks for sharing the live. How you doing, Andrew? Hi, it's not a blanket, it's a shawl. And I'm down my last couple rows here. I'm going to put a nice edge on it. I'll start edging it tonight. Thank you. My neighbor leaves her dog outside and he barks. Poor guy. I feel so bad for him. Hey, Miss Wanda, how you doing? Oh, Andrew, I'm hanging in there. You know how it is. I'm fine. I didn't really go outside today because the weather was not nice for going out and walking on the beach. I did go down yesterday, although it was really super windy. But I did go down for a short while. I do have my windows open. My electric bill was great. I just got my bill from last month. It's been great. I have not had the AC or the heat on for almost the entire month of April. It was really pretty cool. So I think my bill was like $100, $150 or something like that. You need your Betty therapy. Oh man, I'm going to have a crochet retreat here at the beach. Talk about therapy. Just hang out and crochet and sleep. Go down to the beach. Eat, sleep, beach, crochet. That's how we do it here. Eat, sleep, beach, crochet. Listen to him. Jacqueline, you're on the West Coast though, am I right? It seems like there's a lot of yarn left on here, but there's not. And then this is all there is left of the other one. I don't want to, I feel like if I do too many repeats or half repeats, then I'm going to end up doing the yarn chicken thing. And this project takes a lot of yarn at the end of the of the project, because it's really, the rows end up being really long. Our beaches are so cold though. Yeah, I used to live in Monterey. I lived in Monterey for a short while, and then I lived in Point Mugu, California, which is not too far from Malibu. So yeah, it's not at all like swimming in the ocean here. It can be really, really super calm some days. It can be kind of dangerous because of the rip tides. They can be kind of unexpected. But the beaches are like really, there's not a lot of rocks. It's like all sand, and it's just waves coming in. And it can be really calm some days. Yeah, Atlantic Ocean's really different, and it's super warm. It gets really warm in the summertime up through like September. The beaches are really, warm here. I need to chain one. And it's super shallow too because of the coastline. Like, I'm on the Outer Banks, so it's, the Outer Banks are basically like, like a big sandbar out in the middle of the ocean. Well, not in the middle, but thank you, Andrew. New round starting. Ding, 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 ding. What was I saying? Talking about the beach. Yeah, it's just really flat here, and there's a lot of shoaling, which is when the sand shifts all the time. That's why there's so many shipwrecks. But yeah, we're like basically that's what I was saying. We're like a sandbar out, from the mainland, kind of sticking out in the ocean. And it's just like really flat and sandy, and it's very pretty. It's very pretty here. And this place is pretty remote, so there's not a lot of people on our beaches, even during the heavy tourist season. It's still pretty. It's not like Virginia Beach or New Jersey Shore, where you have to you're practically all on top of each other out there on the beach. You have to like fight for a space. They have the boys here that go out early in the morning, and they put your chairs and stuff out for you, so you have your space all saved. And I live like 3 rows back, and I'm right next to a public access point. So, I mean, my walk to the beach is like so convenient. Since I'm pretty sure this is my last row, I'm just going to do 3 in the peaks here instead of 4, what the pattern calls for, because this is it. This is it. This is the last round. Now, the regular 6-day blanket, you have to end after after row 4, which is the single crochet row after a granny row. But on the star blanket, you can end on 4 or 7. So normally, if you're doing the regular kid blanket, you have to end here. Otherwise it splays out. But the star blanket, you don't have to. You can end on either single crochet row you like. Yes, this is one of my patterns that's available on my site. It's the 6-day Staro Shawl. This is a custom pattern I'm doing for Knitting Fever. It's almost the same. I mean, the stitches are the same. It's will tell you how to use two balls of Noro Yukata. It'll be made specific. It's made specifically for that yarn. And a couple other little things. But yeah, you can get the pattern on my site. It's a 6-day Staro Shawl. And the custom one I'm doing for them I'm going to call the Staro Shawl because it's for Noro. I'm almost done too. Then I can move on to my baby blankets. And my new stripes I have. Thank you. It's yeah, just to be a little bit different. I have if you know anything about the 6-day kid blanket, you know that it looks different depending on where you change colors, and there's like 5 different versions that we have now that we have names for. They're like Vivid Chevrons, which is the original, the Snowflake Effect, where you change colors in between the granny rows. There's the Viral Stripe, Australian Confetti, and the Popsicle Effect. Those are the 5 that we have. And I have 2 new ones coming, and they're actually done. They're ready. It just, the part that takes the longest is working up the sample so that I can photograph it for the pattern. So I am at that stage with like 4 patterns. The baby blankets will be first because I can work those up the fastest. One of them is all ready except for the edge. It's the Retro Rainbow baby blanket, 6-day Retro Rainbow, and it's basically the same stripe as the 6-day kid blanket, just without the chevron. And so we, in my membership community, we came out with a name for that new stripe, which I'm not going to reveal right now. So that's one new stripe, and then the other stripe is a textured 6-day kid blanket stripe where you change on colors on row 6, and you work into the back post on some of the stitches to create a textured ridge. So that is just waiting for me to finish working up the blanket so I can photograph it and post it. I'm still working on a name for that one, and I have a link in my bio where you can go vote if you want to take a look at it and vote for a name for the new stripe. Everyone's voting for mountain ridges and things like that. But there have been some cute names submitted. When I lean my arm on the table, I can feel it in my pinky. That's not good. You should actually never lean on something hard like this table when you're crocheting. I had like I had something over here, like a swatch of something I had made up that I was putting like on the table right there for my arm. I don't know what happened to it. Who knows? Who the heck knows? Hey, Amy. How you doing? You home? Oh, you're at Amber's. Tell Amber I said hi. Hi, thanks for the follow. Um, yeah, it can, but not, you know. I have a lot, well, if you're seeing this and these are some extra pieces where I did a little color control. The yarn was just falling. I think I meant to put that back in over on this side because this side doesn't have as much of the braid. Oh no, there's some. Yeah, I controlled it a tiny bit, only because the yarn company asked me to. If it had been up to me, I would have just, I probably still would have alternated the balls so that I didn't get that effect in the beginning of the project where you have like really wide stripes and then they get more and more narrow. Like this way, the stripes are, they're pretty even, they're pretty homogeneous throughout the project. Um, but if it were up to me, I would have from there, I might have alternated the balls, but not controlled the colors so much. They had a particular way they wanted me to work it up. So because I have two balls going, you have to manage them so they don't keep twisting around themselves. So one thing I do is when I turn my work, one time I will turn it this way, and then the next time I'll turn it the other way. So for many years, I just always turned my work the same way. And then what can happen is you can actually twist your yarn as you're working if you do that. So yeah, I got out of the habit of doing that. But if you're working something with multiple threads, like the rainbow retro rainbow blanket that I did, it has 7 different colors and it changes color on every row. So I don't want to weave in those ends. I carried that yarn up the side, but I had 7 balls going. So it's 3 off of one side and 3 on the other, and then the one you're working with. So it was like this little dance of like turning the project one way and then taking the yarn I finished and putting it over to the side, and then taking the new yarn and untangling it from everything else, and keeping half of the yarn over here and half of the yarn over there, and turning back and forth. It was like a little routine I had to set up to keep those yarns from getting tangled. It did make it take a little, it was a little bit more effort than just working, but it was worth it. It turned out so cute. So cute. I'm going to put the edge on that this weekend and get it out there really soon. This yarn is made of, what is the fiber content on this? It's natural fibers, and let's see, silk and wool. So silk is not, everybody thinks of silky like it's really soft. It's really, it's not really soft. It is, almost has a rough feel, and then the wool, but it's very beautifully drapey, but it's not what I would call soft or silky. And then it does have like a thick and thin kind of consistency. It's got kind of a hand spun feel to it. And I did find knots. The color changes are a little bit unpredictable. They're not always the same length. But to me, it's the nature of this particular yarn. It just works up so beautifully, and the colors are really masterful and bold and thoughtfully put together. It's like every ball of Noro I've ever seen has been like a work of art by itself. Yes, don't they though? I just love it. So they gave me enough yarn for a Staro Shawl, a Super Staro Shawl, and a 6-day kid blanket. Oh yeah, they always have. There's always some bright flash of something in these yarns. Always. Every time. I just love it. I think the most well-known Noro yarn is Crayon. I've used that one a bunch. Just really fun. Yarn in bright colors, easy to work up into like hats. Which colorway has been my favorite? Well, I'm really partial to greens, so I think I would say that I really liked the number 6. I probably, if I was given a choice, it probably isn't the one I would have picked. But I wasn't given a choice. And if the truth be told, I knew they were going to give me some of the yukata And I looked at all the colors and I couldn't choose myself. I had written down about 8 different colors, but they didn't give me a choice. They just sent me the colors they wanted worked up, and I love them both. They've been really fun to work with. But I could see myself with the number 6, the bright yellow and green one, more. I'm going to do something a little bit different with this version. I'm going to put a hole in the edge. Maybe I'll put multiple holes for buttons. I gave my mom one of these shawls, and she keeps it closed around her neck with a hair clip, like one of those claw clips. So I definitely think that the front edge needs an option for buttonholes or some type of closure. Even a couple holes for like a shawl pin or something of that nature. Jacqueline, I see you have been working on getting your pattern, your Tunisian scarf pattern released. How's that going? Nice. Congratulations. It's a lot of work. Hi, Sedona. PDF will be ready by the weekend, but I am just ready to get it out there. Heck yeah. It's a big deal and it's a lot of work. I mean, I have a couple patterns that they just made it to the website and nowhere else. Or are they just the PDF just ended up in my Shopify and didn't make it to Ravelry or Etsy. Here comes the bright purple. Woohoo! Yeah. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Leia? Oh, it's been a minute. Yes, it has. Me too. I haven't been on in a while. I've had to slow down my crocheting. I was going a little bit too hard, and then I kind of blew my wrists out working on the computer doing my taxes. I just had a kind of weird setup where I was sitting there. Yeah, I started having a lot of pain in my hands and fingers. So I've been having to take it easy. Hey Kathy, how you doing? Listen, writing up patterns is hard. Um it is really hard. That's why we get mad when people like say, "Oh, I can just take this and change one thing and call it my own pattern." Or people say, "Oh, I could just freehand that or whatever," because it is a lot of work to write to make a pattern. Even this pattern I'm doing for these guys, this is an existing pattern I'm just making changes to. It has taken me like a month. Oh, wow. Kathy is saying she's almost done with the second octagon. So in my membership, we're putting together 6-day octagons and 6-day squares for a future pattern release. And it's been pretty fun, actually. We didn't think we wanted to make squares and triangles and sew them together, but we're actually liking it. We're having fun. I am excited about that um, project because I am going to look for yarn for it at Sheep and Wool next weekend. Some really special yarn to make that with. Aaliyah says, I definitely have more respect for designers after making my first. Absolutely. Cozy Crochet Co. Don't you have a pattern coming out soon too? May 5th. All right. Congratulations. It's great. Yeah, people don't realize how hard it is. Or sometimes they'll say, oh, just do this or just do that. And it's like freehanding it is one thing. I could freehand it in 5 minutes. But if I have to write it down so that multiple people, could read it and understand it and it comes out the same every time, oh my God, it takes forever. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I want it to be like this and not this. And you have to tear it out and redo it. I haven't really been out in the sun since I got my sunburn. But it's peeling now. It was. I remember when I was on a call with you guys and you all were like, "Oh my gosh, that sunburn's really bad." And I was like, "Nah, it's okay. It's okay." My arms were okay, but my back was not. Especially when you think what you're saying makes sense, but then your testers are like, yeah, even if you um use standard pattern writing, a lot of the time people cannot understand it. They do not know what you're talking about. Okay, so now I'm going to work down. I am going to change colors to do this, and I'm going to work down the side of this, which is going to be a pain in the butt. Okay, so this is what let me slow down and show what I do. Okay, so I've been changing balls changing colors. I mean, the yarn is the same colorway, but it is self-striping, right? So I've been alternating two different balls of yarn, so just to break up the pooling a little bit. So this is my yarn from 2 rows down, and this is my working yarn I just finished with. So I'm gonna pull that through, and then this is what I do every time I change colors. I take my tail, which is going to be my old yarn, and I flip it up and over my new working yarn, and then I start my chain or my next stitch or whatever. And then if I'm carrying floats, I just make sure that I don't want that to be too tight, because then that's going to make that edge pull. And you want it to be nice and loose. I did it a little bit too tight, so I'm just trying to loosen it up here. Okay, and now I'm going to work over them. I'm going to go down the side. The yarn had a lot of knots, and I did some color control, so that's why there's a couple of ends here. But I'm going to work down the side, and I'm going to work over all the floats that I made on my way down, and it's going to be messy. Oh, okay, and one more thing. I have my two balls of yarn over here. This is the old one, and this is the new one. So I just did that flippy flip thing where I flipped it up and over. And so now I'm just going to, before I do anything else, I'm just going to untwist them. Otherwise, you could end up with a mess, a big mess. So it's just, when I'm doing anything with multiple balls of yarn like that, I just, at the end of every row, I just do that little dance. I just do a little housekeeping. Okay, now I'm going to work down the side of this. And when I'm doing an edge, I work into the stitches. I don't work into the holes. to me, working into the holes looks like clumpy and uneven. It makes the stitches uneven to me. So I go into the stitches just about every two, I'm going to do about 2 single crochet in each double crochet, 1 in the side of the single crochet and 2 into the sides of the chains. But it's not set in stone. It's not a hard and fast rule. The most important thing is that this doesn't curl or pucker. So keep laying it down and checking it over. And the other thing you want to do is make sure that you are catching your floats, because if you leave them out, there's not enough to like cut it and weave it in. You're going to have to go back and rip it out and make sure that they're all caught in. Yeah, managing testers can be difficult sometimes too. I mean, it's great to have a pool of people that you really trust, but what I found has happened with me, because people make multiple 6-day kid blankets, so they kind of have the pattern memorized, and then what happens is they are so comfortable with it that they will sometimes not notice mistakes in the pattern. So I cannot have my regular people really test things for me. I can have them work it through, but they don't make good testers, because when there's a mistake, they're really good at like reading my mind and knowing what I meant. And so they'll just make the adjustment and keep going. And you really want a tester that's not going to make changes to your pattern and keep going. And then I saw somebody on TikTok was saying that they do a shared document so that all the testers can put their changes in the same document. And I'm like, wait, what? You let your testers change things? No. That is not how I work. Everybody stops until I figure it out. And then we all do it the same way, because if somebody changes something, what are you supposed to do? What's everybody else then there? It's like they might as well be working on a completely different pattern then, if they're not going to follow, if everybody's not doing the same thing. Like, we literally all have to be on the same page. What are your thoughts on compensation for pattern testers? I honestly think that pattern testers should be compensated. I always let my pattern testers know what they are going to get. If they're going to have their name included in the pattern, if they're going to, sometimes it's just a swag gift from me, a PDF. Sometimes a lot of my testers are in my membership community and they don't pay fees. Things like that. Sometimes it's not, the compensation is, in what we call in the art world, in kind. It's not financial compensation, but testing is really hard work. Some people enjoy doing it just to have access to the pattern, be the first one to see it, to promote it. This is the worst part of the pattern, the least fun. I mean, you do have to weigh of the like in any business, you have to weigh your costs against the earning potential of a pattern. People just don't realize how much goes into it. And then really if you're going to have a pattern tested, like let's say you're making a garment, you have to have every single size tested. And how are you going to compensate people for yarn and time to make, you know, 12 different versions of a pattern so that you can have everyone tested? It's a lot. So I don't think it's wrong per se not to compensate by, like, let's say paying someone an hourly rate or something like that. But I always make sure I let my testers know up front what they're going to get. What's, what they're going to be compensated with so that they can decide. How much more do I have to do? For this, I have this edge, the top edge, and then the border along the bottom. Which I think I'm going to do the same as the border on the original Star because I really like it. It's the one with the dragon scale. Hey Bex, yes, this is the Staro Shawl. Yeah, I guess I would say I'm almost done. Have the other one almost done too, but I think I want to take out the edge and redo the border on it. Which is going to require redoing the whole top edge as well. And I also think that I want to add the opening for the closure like I'm planning to do with this one. Lay it down often and make sure that it's flat. Because it is easy to just like get going on this and decide that you don't want to slow down because it's already super slow and that you just want to go as fast as you can and get it done. Also, make sure you're catching your floats, because if they're sticking out, there's nothing you can do. You have to go back. Oh, let me take a break. I can't. I can't. This is the oil I use on my hands when I'm crocheting. I think there might be a link for it in my bio. Helps to keep the swelling down for me. Well, Bex is asking, have I tried compression gloves? I see people recommend them all the time. My thoughts about compression gloves are that I don't think that you should wear them unless you have a medical diagnosis where you need to wear them, like for arthritis. I see a lot of people recommend things on here for hand health and crochet longevity and safety that I don't necessarily agree with all the time. So I don't wear compression gloves, but I can say that when my hands were really hurting me, I did think about it. Um, if I were to wear them, I probably wouldn't wear them when I'm crocheting because I don't think I have like a medical reason to wear them, but I would wear them maybe in downtime if my hands were puffy and swollen, which they are sometimes. Um, but yeah, my thoughts on compression gloves are like I see people recommending them, so they say so that you can crochet longer, and my thoughts are just that if you are having some kind of pain or discomfort, um, that you shouldn't crochet. Like I saw someone stretching, showing their stretches the other day, and they were actually stretching their elbow, and they had their elbow almost hyperextended. Um, but they were showing hand stretches. So I don't know. I have a master's degree in dance, and I'm a yoga teacher. So I guess I'm just kind of picky about things like that. And when you recommend something, I feel like you should have some expertise to do so. Um, so I don't know. I had another thought about it too. ADHD makes me put my projects down enough that I don't end up having pain very often. I mean, yeah, I grew up as a dancer. I have a master's degree in dance, and I'm a certified yoga teacher. And so, um, I think that we are kind of conditioned in our culture to do the no pain, no gain thing. And I think it's one of the most harmful things we can do to our body. Like I crochet for a living, so I definitely don't want to have to, like I could have had these done last week, but my hands hurt. My shoulders hurt, and it wasn't just pain, it was like tingling and sharp shooting, stabbing pain, which I know is from nerves. So I just don't think that putting on a compression glove and to keep going through that is what I want to do to my body. But for some reason, we think that, you know, when we're in pain, we're just supposed to suck it up and keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that definitely is not a healthy way to treat your body. Putting your work down often, stopping and taking breaks, being mindful. I think that's part of mindfulness, is paying attention to how your body feels and honoring your body. And pain is your body's way of telling you something's wrong. Oh, I know what I was thinking regarding compression. When I was a dance major, they used to tell us not to, like if you had something going on like with your ankle or your knee, they would tell us to, if you had to wear a brace to in order to dance, that was usually when you were going through a healing process and you were towards the end of the healing process where those muscles and ligaments and things that were healing still needed some support. But we were cautioned that you could, your body could become dependent on those things, and then the tissues could not strengthen on their own. So that's another reason why I only would use something like that as part of a healing process and not part of my day-to-day crochet, habit. Because I want my hands and fingers to heal. Man, this is like a snail's pace compared to how fast I usually crochet. It's like painful. I'm almost to the middle though. Almost halfway there. I always go into the stitch. I don't go around the stitches. I could probably go a lot faster if I would just go around the stitches. But I don't like the way it looks. Okay, this is my center, my starting hole, so I am going to work right into that. I'm doing 3. Oh my goodness, what do I have going over here? It's really hard to see. My eyes are tired. I think on a couple of those I only went into one. Sometimes pain in the fingers and the hands, like I can tell that this pain in my pinky is coming from up here where I'm leaning my arm on the table. If you have any kind of numbness, sharp shooting pain, that's not something I would wear a compression glove and keep going. This is probably so boring to watch. Thank you. I'm just about due for a fill. I waited so long the last time. Way too long. I was just in Virginia Beach a week ago getting a haircut. Usually I go up on Fridays, so I don't know if I'm going to go tomorrow or not. I don't think so. I don't feel like it. I'm so excited because my sister was bugging me to come visit for my birthday, and I was like, no, I don't know. My daughter wants to come. And you know, my daughter is always first. And so I finally pinned my daughter down and I said, hey, are you coming or what? And my birthday is always around Memorial Day. Sometimes it's actually on Memorial Day. So it just so happens that it falls like right before Memorial Day weekend this year. And she said that is a really bad time for her to try and get the time off of work. They need her because they're expecting it to be busy where she works. So she said, how about if I come for a whole week the next week? And I was like, yeah. She's going to come for a whole week, even more longer than a week. It was like 8 days. She said she was going to come for, so I'm really excited about that. So, and I'll have my sister here for my birthday, which is always really fun. We always have a really fun time. This side is going a little bit quicker because I don't have those floats. The floats are only on one side of the work, so I don't have any floats on this side, so it's just humming along. Come on now. What do I have here? How come I can't get into this stitch? There we go. So I've got some friends from the McNiniverse, and we're going to be at Maryland Sheep and Wool. This weekend we have an Airbnb with an indoor pool. And we are excited. It's going to be crochet, 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 swim, probably eat a little bit. And then, of course, shopping at the festival, which I cannot wait to do. Should be a fun time. Oh my God, I can't wait to be done with this boring part of this project. Holy moly. It's like pulling teeth. I could cry. I'm so bored. I'm really hoping that Knitting Fever gives me an account and I'm going to be able to sell this yarn. Hey Liv, that's so cute with the little bees by your username. How do people think of this stuff? So when I have ends, what I do is I work over them for a couple of stitches and then I weave them in later. I usually direct them towards, the matching color. Wow, it's 8 o'clock already. Whoops. Hmm. Come on, Betty. Almost there. I don't know what's staying in. There we go. Now the birds are quiet, but I can hear the ocean. Man, it's like the perfect temperature. I love sleeping with the windows open. Almost there. Go into the black or the gray or whatever next. Woo! All right, I did it. Oh man, that takes forever. I'm just going to look at my pattern and see what it says to do. See if I have it open. Excuse me. Bye, Kathy. Huh, maybe I didn't do one yet. I didn't start 6-day Staro Shawl. Why do I only have one that's for the testers? There it is. All right, let's see what it says to do. It says top edge row 1. Okay, I did this on the final row. Make 3 single crochet. I did that. And now it says chain 2 half double crochet, top edge row 3. Oh, so I only did 1 row of half double crochet, and then I did a single crochet picot edge. Okay, so hey favorite. Okay, so before I do that next row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this on, and I'm going to mark. Oh, it's really hard to do when it's attached. It's attached to both ends. Okay, I'm going to go about right there. Okay. I just marked 2 places where I'm going to leave a little opening, and I think I'm going to actually do 2 rows of half double crochet, not just 1. Dropped my yarn on the floor. Wow, I really did a number on this. Picking it up and putting it on. Okay. Half double crochet. Oh, I don't want to do two. I mean, I don't want to do half double. I'm going to do single. Just seems like a little bit too much. It really is fun going live to crochet. I'm gonna try putting my arm on that. Let's do this. Let's zoom out a little bit over here on YouTube just to give me a little bit more space. So I have noticed that sometimes on the second row I get a tiny bit of ruffling, so I'm just going to decrease every once in a while just to keep it nice and straight. So where I have it marked, I want to leave a buttonhole. So when I get to the stitch where I want the buttonhole, I'm just going to chain one and skip a stitch. And then it leaves a little, let me chain two. I'm going to chain two. So my yarn's really thin right there. that's better. I like it when I don't like playing yarn chicken, but I do like, especially when I have really nice yarn like this, I like using it almost all the way up. I don't want to have a bunch left over, you know? Hi, Kay. Thanks for following. I've been crocheting since I was 7, and I'll be 56 next month. I learned by watching my mom and my aunts and my grandmother. And then I asked my grandmother to teach me how to knit. And she did teach me, but it didn't really stick. I had to kind of go back and reteach myself how to knit years later. And then for a long time, I didn't crochet, I just knitted. Everything was knitting, 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 knitting. And then crochet kind of had this renaissance, and my crochet pattern went viral, and now I mostly crochet. Do you have any of their needles? No, I didn't get anything of my grandmother's other than the Afghan that she made me. I have one of her daughters, my dad's sister, is also a knitter, but she doesn't crochet. So she and I are like the only ones that are like, you know, do it all the time, you know. I mean, I really caught the bug. This seems like it would just be so boring as a row of single crochet, but it's not. It's pretty. Unfortunately, the Afghan that she made me, I left it a little too close to the space heater in college, and it almost started a fire, but it got a big burn on it, and I had to throw it away. Okay, here's where my other buttonhole's gonna go. I mean, I realize I'm making 2 buttonholes opposite one another. I haven't decided how I'm gonna close this. I think like a cool, oh, maybe I'll find something at Sheep and Wool. Some kind of like cool frog closure or something like that. the 6-Day Star Shawl. This is the yarn right here. It's Noro Yukata number 4. The 6-Day Kid Blanket and 6-Day Star Blanket are my 2 viral patterns. I just posted the 6-Day Kid Blanket kind of on a whim in like 2008, I think it was. And it went viral a few times. I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't even know people were crocheting. Most of my patterns use the same 6 rows of stitches from the 6-Day Kid Blanket. It's a row of single crochet, 2 rows of granny stitches, another row of single crochet, and 2 rows of double crochet and a chevron. And it's chevrons. Most of my patterns are comprised of those 6 repeated rows. Okay, and then the last row here of this edge, let me see. Chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch. Skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Okay, so that's the row. What do you have that you've crocheted? I've given most of mine away. Well, because I do this for my business, last year I had a yarn supplier and pattern seller, catalog seller. I don't know why I'm like talking in code. It was Annie's. I had Annie's reach out to me and say, we'd love to carry your patterns in our catalog, but we'd like to photograph them ourselves. So do you have any samples that you could send us? And I didn't. I had given everything away and I didn't have any pattern samples. So I had to work up a bunch of samples and it took forever. So because of that, I don't give away stuff anymore. I don't give away the pattern prototypes. If I want to make a gift for somebody, I just, I make them a gift and I give it away. And it's much more rare now for someone to receive a gift from me because I do this for my business. So yeah, unfortunately, I used to give a lot of things away, and then when it became a business and I'd be making up a pattern or doing a blog article and I didn't have the blanket to photograph, or I'd have to ask somebody for a blanket back that I gave them so I could photograph it. So I don't give them away so much anymore. Yeah, I think that I mean, every once in a while I do these. Okay, so I'm at that buttonhole, so I'm just going to single crochet in the buttonhole. I don't know why I'm telling you all what I'm doing because this is not a tutorial. But anyways, I'm kind of designing a little bit. Yeah, I used to do these crochet alongs, these self-care crochet alongs, and that's what we would do at the crochet along. We would say, pick something that you really want to make for yourself, and bring that to the meeting. And so that's what we did, because a lot of us crochet for other people. We don't ever keep anything for ourselves. And for many of us, that's how we live our lives. You know, we are overgivers, people pleasers, caretakers. We do more for others than we do for ourselves. So I think it's a beautiful act of self-care to do something for yourself. Make something for yourself. I would say splurge on some really beautiful yarn. You know, make something that you're really going to love wearing, showing off proudly, or using, or you know, what have you. I've made a small Japanese knot bag and planning to make a hexagon. Oh, cool. Well, I have a hexagon cardigan in the 6-day stitches. It's called the 6-day hexagon cardigan. And I invite you to try it. Finished 3 things I promised the grandkids, then the cardigan. I was thinking about making another cardigan, hexagon cardigan, today. Everything's on my website, bettymcknit.com. If you go to the little shopping bag tab on my TikTok page, it'll show you all the patterns I have for sale. 6-day hexagon cardigan. It's also free on my website if you don't want to buy it. It's an expensive pattern because it's very involved. It has a lot of options. Shows you how you can make the cardigan in any size with any yarn. It has sleeve options, it has a hood option, it has a pocket option. It has options for different lengths, edges. Do you have to print it out? Only if you want to. You would like the pattern? Okay. You'll love it. You'll end up making hexagon cardigan sweaters for all your grandkids, I have a feeling. No, I don't mail hard copies. Someday I'm going to figure out how to do that, though. There has to be a print on demand service I could do through my Shopify store. Yeah, I just only have it as a digital download right now. I'm sorry. Did y'all see the bags that I put on my site today? I got some cute swag bags with different 6-Day Kid blanket prints on them. Between 4 kids and 6 grams and another on the way. Wow. I gotta figure out how to prioritize me. I know it. Well, maybe one of your kids can help you print out your pattern. You know what I do is I send them to FedEx Kinko's and then I have them print it out. That way it'll be all nice. And I don't have to blow out my printer cartridge printing it. Yeah, Staples does it. You can upload it online, or you can take a thumb drive to the store with you and have them print it for you. You might be able to take it to your library and have them printed at the library for free. Yeah, if you order it from the website, it's going to email you a link. Oh yeah, or email it to the store. Yes. Just call them and ask them and they'll print it for you. It might cost you like, I don't know, 10 cents a page or 5 cents a page or something like that. I'm tempted to keep going on this, but I have been sitting here a really long time. So I'm thinking I should take a break. Six-day hexagon cardigan. It's on my website, bettymcknit.com. feel like it's ruffling just a little, but I think it'll be okay. I'm going to block it. Okay. Ah! Oh, this is pretty. So this is how my mom keeps hers on, but she uses a hair clip. So I just put a little buttonhole there. So I'm going to look for some kind of frog closure. Man, that is not anywhere close to even. I'll be redoing that. Yeah, that's too far down on that side. All right. So much for that. Gosh darn it. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to get going. I've been in this chair too long. I'm going to head out. Bye.